It feels like only yesterday it was 2018, and that's because it was. And yes, I stole that joke from Brittany.
That's dumb.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Real Romance, and even though we've only had the one episode currently on the books, we decided to do a best of 2018 episode because we realized we've seen something like 70 movies this last year, and we haven't talked about any of them. So we're just going to...
We talked about 5.
Well, we did talk about 5, and if you'd like to check out episode 1, that would really help our ego. But the main point of this one is to go over all the stuff that we watched in 2018 very briefly, to give you the best, the worst, the in-betweens, and the things that just made you go, huh? So thank you very much for joining us, and without further ado, Brittany. How are you doing, Brittany?
I'm okay.
You're doing okay? Yeah, this whole...
Retail sucks during the holidays.
Yeah, well, everything kind of sucks during the holidays.
Retail's worse.
Yeah, it's true. We went to a lot of movies this week. We went to Holmes and Watson and Bumblebee, Vice.
And one more.
Well, we saw 2 on Netflix.
Oh, no. Okay. So that was
and
it.
then,
no, but we went to another
Welcome
one.
to Marwin came out, but I think we went to it last week.
week.
Right. So all of those will be on our episode 2. So we're not going to talk too much about those. But the other 65, or the other 60, because I don't want to talk about the stuff from episode 1, because that would kind of defeat the purpose of doing that. So these 60 movies that came out from early December and before, we're just going to kind of run through and talk about. So, Brittany, overall, what did you think of the movies that came out this year? Were you happy with the offerings that Hollywood gave?
I mean, I guess, like, there were some really good movies. And there were some really groundbreaking movies and stuff. I don't know. I was kind of disappointed in the animated films this year. Like, Wreck-It Ralph was good and stuff, and so was Incredibles. But there wasn't, like Frozen was amazing.
But, Brittany, Hotel Transylvania 3 came out.
Oh, yeah. That was a pretty sweet movie.
Okay, and I'm going to go through... You tell me which one of these animated films you didn't like. Okay, because I wrote down all the movies we went to. Okay, Sherlock Gnomes...
That was good. It wasn't great, but it was good.
Okay, it was an okay movie. Incredibles 2.
I liked that.
Awesome. Hotel Transylvania 3.
I liked that a lot.
Not as good as the second one.
It was good.
It was not as good. Teen Titans Go to the Movies.
That was weird, but funny,
It was so funny. And, I mean, you could kind of count it as a superhero movie, but you could also count Incredibles. We had Smallfoot.
I liked Smallfoot quite a bit.
It was garbage.
It was not. I thought that was funny, and there was some funny jokes, and I just really liked it.
Grinch.
I liked The Grinch. It wasn't, like, amazing, but I thought it was cute. It would be a great kids' film.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph was sad.
And Into the Spider-Verse, which we already talked about in episode 1, but
was cool, but weird.
A phenomenal flick. So what I'm hearing from you is that you don't think there was anything, like, crazy amazing, but you liked all the movies. Was there a movie you didn't like in the animated?
Not really, but like out of all the films, there was no songs that I was just like, oh my god, I want to have this song and sing it over and over and over. And I feel like Moana and Frozen had songs that I really loved.
Well,
I'm really pumped, really, for next year. I'm gonna cry when we see the How to Train Your Dragon 3.
Yeah.
I'm pumped for that one, so...
But if you think about it, none of these kids' movies were really, like, musicals. Like, a lot of them had music in it, but it wasn't... There wasn't a musical.
There wasn't a Disney animated picture this year, was there? Just Pixar.
Well, Wreck-It Ralph isn't Pixar.
No. Yes, it is, isn't it?
No.
Oh, I thought it was.
No.
It's not like the normal
But no,
Disney
for Disney's features this year, they went... Like, aside from, like, The Incredibles and going into a lot of Marvel and Star Wars stuff, they did Christopher Robin.
I didn't like that one.
I liked Christopher Robin. It was nice.
It was funny, but it wasn't good enough.
And Disney also did Nutcracker in the Four Realms, which I must say, I love Nutcrackers. I'm a huge fan of, like, the tradition of Nutcrackers. I hated that movie. So I'm kind of glad it bombed.
Also, last year's Coco was better than this year's Wreck-It Ralph.
Coco was wonderful.
So, just saying.
But, I mean, even though we called this podcast Real Romance, like we mentioned in episode 1, we don't really watch a lot of romance movies, do we?
A lot of them don't look good. Like, we watch some romantic stuff sometimes, but it's so cheesy.
Right. To All the Boys I've Loved Before was a Netflix one with
really
Lana
good.
Condor, and that was a really good one. I enjoyed it. But most of the ones you see are kind of romantic comedy type things, or movies that have romance integrated in, like The Spy Who Dumped Me.
That wasn't romantic.
It was a buddy comedy, but
that was okay. I was
kind of circled around.
I feel like that movie did not use Kate McKinnon to her full abilities.
Yeah, and I mean, Love, Simon was
Simon,
it was a romance. I would think of it a romance.
It was more of a coming of age film.
Yeah, well, aren't love stories usually coming of age?
Yeah, no.
Well, I guess not always. Crazy Rich Asians was a romance.
That was phenomenal.
Amazing movie.
That was one of my favorites this year.
If that thing doesn't win awards, I'm gonna be just fucking disappointed.
Ant-Man and Wasp, in a way, is kind of
a little bit. Like, it's a superhero film, but there are aspects of romance. But by that respect, you could say that, like, Bohemian Rhapsody was romance.
Or Darkest Minds.
Right. It's like, they're not really romance, but they are. But
arguably, all young adult movies are romantic.
But the big, quote, romance that came out was 50 Shades Freed that we saw.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I
mean...
It wasn't phenomenal, but it was okay way to spend a couple hours.
It fit in with the rest of the 50 Shades, I felt.
I don't know. I feel like it was disappointing compared to the second one. Like, the director in the first one, I didn't like her ideas of where the movie should be. And so I didn't really like it. And I liked the second one quite a bit. But this one felt a little rushed. Like... I appreciate that they didn't split it up into 2 films. God, that's an awful thing to do.
Yeah, it's the worst. But I would say one of the best romances that we saw this year was actually a musical, and that was Star is Born.
I guess. I mean, it was good.
I got A Star is Born soundtrack, and I played in my car, and we're always singing Shallow.
I don't like musicals.
Right, but the music was good, and it wasn't
good.
like...
It was just too sad.
It wasn't a musical like Mary Poppins was a musical.
I liked Mary Poppins, but not as much.
But that's what I'm saying, like, musicals...
It was just so sad. I don't like sad endings.
Yeah. But, I mean...
That's why I like animated films, because typically they don't have a sad ending. Though How to Train Your Dragon 2 was so sad.
Yeah.
And now I just know that the third one is going to be even sadder. So sad.
Yeah. Everyone's going to die. All the dragons are gone.
What? Don't say that. It will happen then. Don't say that.
All right. Well, let's shift gears. Superhero movies. Okay, so... Black Panther started.
That was pretty good.
Amazing flick. Very groundbreaking. All black cast, except for one or two people.
The film itself was amazing, but Black Panther is definitely not my favorite superhero.
Well, that's understandable.
His sister Shuri is fantastic, but I don't know. His powers are cool, I guess, but T'Challa is kind of a tool.
Well, he's a king.
Yeah.
No, if Namor ever hits the screens, you're gonna be like, man, what a prick. Right? He's like Aquaman, but more of a prick.
T'Challa, well, what did I say?
T'Challa?
Yeah. He's good. I was happy with it, and I think he's cool, but I like some of the other superheroes better. The movie was fantastic, and what was the one king's name? The other one. The one in the mountains.
M'Baku.
Yeah, that one. M'Baku was really cool. I liked him better.
Yeah. Okay, now, let's see. Superhero movies. We had Deadpool 2 and Once Upon a Deadpool.
Which are the same movie. They're the same Movie!
Okay, well, if you want to hear more about that,
I've seen unrated...
listen to episode 1.
I've seen deleted scenes that were more different than those 2 movies.
I heard that. Incredibles 2, great flick.
That was pretty good.
And that does count as a superhero movie. I stand by that. Ant-Man and the Wasp came out. That was...
I really like Ant-Man. I know a lot of people give him some hate, and he's not as good. But I think Ant-Man's fun. He's a lot different than the other superheroes. He's not all macho and stuff all the time.
I think the thing I like about Ant-Man is that, like, you go into it knowing you're going to have a good time without, like, all the heavy stuff. And a lot of people give him no credit because it's a funner movie.
He's more relatable because, like, if I was on house arrest, that's the kind of stuff I would do. Be taking baths every day, playing games, reading books.
Oh, yeah.
Watching TV. Like, that sounds cool. Like,
we have Ant-Man and the Wasp. We have Teen Titans Go to the Movies, which we kind of talked about. But
that was weird.
It was just a goofy, fun movie. And the Stan Lee cameos were great.
I liked the end where it was, like... had the old Teen Titans show.
Oh,
that
God.
Was
it was too much. I would kind of count Darkest Minds as superhero-y. It's based on young adult novels, but it's kids who have powers and...
It wasn't good enough. They were trying too hard, and they're not going to make it...
They aren't.
They're not going to make the sequels.
They will not. We had... White Boy Rick was not a superhero.
No, that was not a superhero.
Venom was not a superhero either.
I loved Venom. I know you hated on it quite a bit, but...
He made out with his symbiote.
That was pretty cool, though. Like,
no, it really wasn't.
I thought it was a good movie. Venom
it was an alright movie.
Venom was funny. He ate some bad guys.
No, the problem with Venom is it was an alright movie, but nothing about that should have made it catapult past every single X-Men film. Like...
God, yes, have you watched all the X-Men films?
I have.
They're not that great. I don't like them.
Dark Phoenix is gonna kill it next year.
Okay, maybe, but I think the X-Men film get too caught up in smelling their own poop. They're not good. X-Men. I know you love X-Men 2 and 3. 3 is terrible.
Oh, 2, God, yes.
2 is... And the only one I liked was First Class.
First Class was a great flick.
That's the only one I liked at all.
Okay, so... and then the last ones were all in December, so Spider-Man and Aquaman and Bumblebee.
I think you forgot one.
Did I?
Infinity War.
Did I write that down?
You did. It's right there.
It was hiding. Yeah, Avengers Infinity War.
How'd you forget?
Amazing.
Were you doing that on purpose, or did you really forget?
I really fucking forgot.
You're a dummy.
There were so many good ones this year. I just kind of glossed over it. But yes, Thanos was amazing.
No.
Seeing all of the Guardians and
I cried the whole movie.
Yeah, and I was
cry, and then ha ha ha, cry, ha ha, cry, and then sometimes cry and ha ha.
Yeah, it's like you're not crying, laughing. You can't help yourself, right? But a lot of great superhero movies, but that's not the only ones that were
Are we
sci-fi.
allowed to have spoilers in this or no?
Well, this is an end of the year review.
Well, I'm just saying, if Bucky doesn't come back and be with Captain America, I'm gonna be real sad.
Well, we'll find out here in about 3.5, 4 months. Or I think it's 4.5 months. It comes out the last week of April.
I'm so sad.
I think. But Captain Marvel's coming out.
4.5 months. You know how many months it is till April, right? Just 4.
Oh, so I guess almost 4 months. Almost 4 months.
It goes January, February.
Thank you.
You
okay.
don't know months.
I don't. But not only were there a lot of superhero movies, but a lot of sci-fi, adventure, action type stuff. So even though Ready Player One isn't a superhero movie, it was very science fiction-y and very...
It was cool. It wasn't I wasn't like, oh my god, this is fantastic. But it was good. It was enjoyable. I mean, would I watch it again? I might if it comes on TV.
No, there are certain scenes that I would absolutely watch again, kind of the racing scenes and stuff like that, but also some of it's kind of forgettable. But I read the book, and I did a podcast for it for my Nerds on Words, so if you are at all interested in that, you can go look that up and kind of hear my in-depth review of Ready Player One, the movie and the book. But... It was
Annihilation was also a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, it was. It was a thriller too. It was scary.
It was creepy. What was that? That human bear thing was so weird.
Yeah, with like the... Ugh.
It was a human skull coming out of its face.
The effects were really awesome on that.
I don't know if, like, it was a movie that had too much thinking, like, at the end. Like, I don't mind thinking about the movie through the movie, but when I get to the end, I want to know what happens at the end, and I was very just confused.
Yeah, on that note, make sure you check out episode 2, because we're going to talk about Bandersnatch, and, oh my lord. Not here.
Okay.
Another time.
Let's see.
The Rampage was kind of a science fiction action flick.
That was okay.
I actually really enjoyed the game as a kid, and so seeing George as the main character and The Rock kind of played off of that.
The Rock is always fun.
He's a fun guy. And
it was fun. It wasn't like, that wasn't quality cinema or anything, but it was fun.
I really liked what they did with Rampage. Next one would be Jurassic World.
Everybody hated on it, but I really liked it.
Yeah, Fallen Kingdom was
It made a lot of sense because it had to set up a lot of stuff and it had to resolve a lot of stuff. Because, yeah, the first one was fantastic. But, like, you can't just have it, like, it can't just be an epic adventure every single time because somebody has to resolve those issues. And I thought it was good enough. Good enough to set up a great third movie.
Mm-hmm. Now, this may be considered horror, but I'm going to throw the Meg in with sci-fi adventure because...
Megalodon is real, Robert.
Megalodon is as real as Bigfoot is.
No, Megalodon was a real animal, Robert. We know they existed.
And Bigfoot is out there judging you.
There is no proof that Bigfoot ever existed. But Megalodon did exist. That's making it more real.
There's a movie called Smallfoot on this list, dear.
That's a Yeti, dumbass.
They're the same thing.
No, they ain't.
Okay.
But I loved the Meg. And I totally believe that there's Megalodons out there. Science be God. It's the truth.
Next one. It's kind of a horror too. Predator.
I love Predator movies. Everyone hated on that movie too, but
Predator was a fun movie. It was better than I expected.
There was like this guy got the Predator got the spine ripped out, and you know I love it when the spines come out. It's fantastic. Anytime.
Yeah. What's your favorite part of Mary Poppins? When they ripped her spine out.
Anytime someone's spine gets ripped out in a film, I'm just like, this is awesome. Unless it's a true film.
Yeah.
That's not so awesome.
It's like Honey Boo Boo, the true Hollywood story. Yes. And then they ripped her spine out.
Yeah, that's not fun.
No.
I liked Predator a lot. I would watch it again.
Would you count A House of the Clock in Its Walls, or is that just more of a kid's movie?
This was kind of a kid's movie. We didn't really talk about it. It was a fun movie. It wasn't like anything like amazing, but it was fun.
It came out within like a month of Goosebumps 2, and I actually preferred Goosebumps 2.
Really, I liked The House with a Clock. I thought it was good. I liked Get Better. I mean, Goosebumps 2 was okay.
I'm an R.L. Stein fan. I
like
guess.
him too, but I don't know.
Right. And Overlord was
way different than...
It felt video gamey.
Yeah, it did. I kept thinking that it was some kind of Xbox or PS4 game, but I don't think it is. I couldn't find anything about it.
No, it's kind of in the same vein as a lot of video games.
It feels like a lot like...
You know, what's it called? Wolfenstein and stuff. But...
I don't know what that
Doom
is.
Or that sort of thing.
Yeah, it felt a lot like that. It was cool. I mean, if you like video games, you would probably really like this.
Alright, well, since we've kind of talked about some horror before, then let's just go through all the traditional horror, and that way we can narrow it all down.
Insidious was terrifying.
Insidious Last Key came out in, like, January.
Every time we see an Insidious film, I just get super scared. Like, we saw one, and we're sitting there on the couch watching it, and the dogs are in my lap. And I screamed because it scared me. And the dog thought Robert was beating me.
And they attacked me. And they were barking.
They were growling.
And it wasn't a good situation.
It's funny, though.
Can't watch movies with them no more. Oh, I also wanted to point out that this is a long list of 70 movies that we watched this year. But only like 6 of them happened before April.
Yeah, in January through March, we did not have any movie pass.
Right, so we were pretty selective on what we wanted to watch.
Yeah, so we just went and saw stuff that we really were interested in.
Right, and even like I think 3 or 4 of those
were renters.
We actually we obtained copies
renting otherwise.
Yeah, for review purposes. But yeah, we watched about 30 movies each on Movie Pass and AMC A-List from when we got rid of that. Now, let's just take a moment, because we'll get back to horror stuff. But can we talk about the absolute nightmare that Movie Pass was?
Movie Pass started off awesome.
It was great at first.
We paid up front and got a $7 a month deal where we could see where originally we could see as many movies as we want, as many times as we wanted. Then the second Infinity Wars came out. They were like, JK,
you can't watch it
You
anymore.
can't watch as many. You can watch them, but one time. And
no. We'd only had it for like a month at this point.
Yeah, and we were like, okay, I guess we're okay with that. Because even though we were planning on seeing Infinity Wars like a bunch of times.
Probably.
At least a couple.
Yeah.
So
we had to scale it down, and now we have a DVD.
Okay, that's whatever. And then we moved in June.
Yeah.
And it was still working fine with our local AMC and whatever. But then they were like, JK, you can only see movies on...
With like mobile check-in and stuff.
Or certain days.
Right.
You can see these 3 movies today and these 3 movies tomorrow.
Or like in a big city, you had a lot of options, but in a small town with one,
we didn't have anything,
so we had to travel an hour to go to a movie.
We did it because we were like, screw you guys, we're going to see our movies.
Right. We paid for the service. We'll spend the time and the money, whatever.
So we were driving 45 minutes one way to see movies when we had a movie theater in town playing those same movies.
Now, one amazing thing about that is that
we got to see some cool theaters.
We saw things that we would not have normally seen.
Yeah.
Of these that I'll mention.
Sorry to Bother You.
Sorry to Bother You, which was a... okay.
I liked it.
I enjoyed it up until about 2/3, 3/4 of the way through.
Horse people were
when
too
when they drop a horsey bombshell. And
it's too much.
A lot of people are like, it's groundbreaking and it's amazing. And I'm looking, and when I watch it, I just get so thrown off my groove.
Summer of '84, though, was something
that was the one I was going to mention. Summer of '84.
That movie was fantastic, and if you can get a hold of it, I would definitely recommend if you like serial killers or horror or even just like 80s.
Throwback stuff. It's kind of like Stranger Things without the Stranger Things.
Yeah, it's just more realistic. It was fantastic, and the cast did an amazing job, and it kept me on my toes, and I loved it.
It actually caught Brittany off guard, which kind of is shocking.
So anyway,
but back to the thing. Movie Pass. After a while, after seeing them struggle, and we paid for one thing and we got something completely different.
We knew at this point that we were not gonna finish out our subscription of 12 months.
And so they gave us the option to duck out.
No, but listen. So we saw as many movies as we could shove in. We were going like 4 times a week.
Yeah.
So we could shove them in. And then finally they were like, okay, you guys are going to get 3 a month. But since you're old subscribers...
We'll give you an option.
We'll let you continue until your subscription ran out. And like a week later, they were like, JK, do you want to cancel or go to 3 movies a month? And at that point, we were like, fuck it. We can go to A-List.
Right.
And pay, more, but we can see the movies we want when we want. We have an AMC in town. It just makes a lot more logical sense.
Right.
And the money we get goes to our rewards, so we get money off popcorn.
Right. And then, also, we still go to Indie sometimes
but there are...
because they have big cushy seats. You can pick your seats. So for big things like, say, when Captain Marvel comes out, we're absolutely going to pre-order and get a nice seat.
Show up right on time. We don't have to be there 40 minutes early.
Yeah. It's going to be really good for us. But because we didn't see a lot of movies at certain times, and because of the limited nature of Movie Pass the way it was at the end...
We may have missed a few.
We missed a few. We missed 8th Grade by Bo Burnham, which I hear was phenomenal. We missed Solo, the Star Wars, which honestly I wasn't too...
We had Movie Pass
concerned about.
We didn't want to.
I didn't want to see Solo. But remember, that was kind of when they were, starting to yank us around.
No,
in the summer there.
May. They didn't start yanking us around till July.
Oh, yeah, I didn't want to see Solo. I remember
Don't lie.
now. But there was a lot in the first 3 months that we missed, and I apologize for that. But
so anyway, back to horror.
A Quiet Place.
That was fantastic.
I
would say that Summer of '84 and The Quiet Place were the top 2 horror movies this year for me.
Well, I mean, I know we're going to talk about it later, but is Bird Box in that running?
Bird Box was good, but not that good.
Not. And what about Halloween?
See,
I enjoyed Halloween.
I enjoyed it.
It's one of my favorite Halloween movies.
But honestly, Halloween is not my favorite, like, series.
Yeah, there are better series. Okay, Strangers Prey at Night.
That was an okay movie.
That was an okay movie, but it was more of a renter. Hereditary.
I did not like that film.
Creepy and weird. The main character dies a third of the way in.
Not even. It was like 20 minutes into the movie.
No, she was there for at least a half an hour.
She wasn't there long. They literally they introduced her and then she's dead.
Hey, Brittany.
Stop. I didn't really like the film. I thought it was too weird for me.
Okay. Hotel Artemis wasn't really a horror. Well, let's talk about that one really quick. Hotel Artemis.
I liked it. It was a good film. It wasn't great, but it was good.
That was Dave Bautista was fun in that.
He was fun.
And Jodie Foster. I mean, there was a nice there was a nice cast in that movie.
Jodie Foster was definitely the star of that film, and her performance was fantastic.
Yeah, it was a fun one. Okay, First Purge. That was a good movie.
I liked it.
I think it was one of the best Purge movies I've seen. And you saw the new Purge show.
I loved the show. I loved how it had a very diverse cast, and it had very cool stories. And I just kind of thought at first that they were just going to be individual stories of people throughout the Purge, but at the end of the film, they all joined together. And most of them died, which I was sad about. There's a couple that I was like, I don't care if they die. But there's a couple. Okay. I was sad.
Slender Man knockoff. It was okay for what it was, but meh.
If I was paying for it, I would have been disappointed. But it was okay. Also,
Truth or Dare. I actually was about to go back up there because it was sitting right next to A Quiet Place, and trust me, next to A Quiet Place, Truth or Dare doesn't stand up.
Truth or Dare, but I really like films where people die in weird ways, especially teenagers that are dumb.
Agreed. The Nun scared the crap out of me.
That movie was very scary.
That was a great addition to the mythos.
Gave you everything you were expecting and more. It definitely didn't disappoint, because sometimes you go into a horror movie expecting it to be terrifying and it's just lame.
Yeah. We already talked about Predator. Hellfest was a really fun movie.
It was fun. It was fun, and like I said, I like it when teenagers die in weird ways. So I definitely enjoyed it, but it was boring.
They kind of set it up to have a lot of sequels.
It was predictable.
They could have just stopped it there.
And look, if they make 3 more sequels, I'm probably gonna watch them because I like it when teens die in cool ways. If the guy got the thing in the eyeball, that was cool. I just really
I would have wanted to see a roller coaster death. Roller coaster deaths are fun.
Maybe in the next one.
Bad Times at the El Royale was more of a thriller.
It was good though.
There were some terrifying aspects of it.
I really liked that film.
Right, because Chris Hemsworth plays like a cult leader.
Chris Hemsworth's character was creepy.
No, the whole cast was absolutely
when
fantastic.
He was dancing, I was just, can you please stop?
Yeah, you're a weirdo.
Creepy.
But no, Jeff Bridges is in it.
They were all. I don't know that girl's name. The singer. I don't really know her name. She's new.
Right, but she was also in
something else.
Widows.
Yeah, and she's amazing. I don't know her name, and I apologize to her, but you're a fantastic actress, and I look forward to seeing you in new stuff.
Right, speaking of Widows.
Widows was great.
That was a really, really good movie, and it got snubbed.
Viola Davis never disappoints. That woman, she could be in anything. I would probably be like, okay, I'll go see that.
And I think the last horror that we saw was actually Overlord, and we kind of talked about that already, didn't we?
Overlord was creepy.
Alright, so now that we've gone through a lot of those, I'm just going to start from the top of the list and work my way down and get the things, because a lot of these things are, they're action movies, there's different stuff that didn't get talked about.
Game night. Game night was
not a whole lot of comedies this year.
Not that we liked.
Yeah. Game night was a pretty fun one.
Yeah, I liked that one. That was one of the better ones we saw.
Yeah, of the
comedies.
Of the comedies, that was the better one.
I didn't like a lot of the comedies this year.
Yeah, Sherlock Gnomes was meh. I'm trying to. Okay, Breaking In was a thriller about a woman and a family.
I liked it for what it was, and
house.
I thought that was a really good job. It was really cool seeing a woman like take over and just like kick ass, like.
Oh yeah, defending her kids and all that.
Like, they shouldn't mess with mom. That's what they get.
Okay.
I really liked it.
Yeah, I did too.
Did the dad die in that or no? Is he end up okay?
The dad came back later and he ended up surviving, but
I like
he was like gone the whole time. We talked Hereditary. We talked Hotel Artemis. Ocean's 8.
I liked it. I know a lot of men were hating on it because it's not as good as Ocean's 11. We watched Ocean's 11 in preparation for Ocean's 8. And, I mean, Ocean's 11 was cool. I thought Ocean's 8 was great. Like, I thought it was everything that the other one was. It was...
I thought Ocean's 11 was a bigger heist. No, I haven't seen 12 and 13.
Mm-mm.
I thought Ocean's 11 was a bigger, better heist itself. But
Not really.
I thought Ocean's 8 was a more fun, inclusive
I think you
movie.
think that because you know how intense the security for those diamonds is. They let you wear them, you check them out, and then they like keep tabs on you all night. You cannot leave the building with those things. Those things are so expensive and rare, and just stealing those was a fantastic job. Like, that was amazing. And didn't they steal like something else too? What else did they steal? I forgot.
They stole a lot of diamonds.
Yeah, but they stole something else while they were in that one dresses.
I forget.
I forget too.
But it was fun. Tag was another really good comedy.
I think Tag was probably my favorite comedy.
I think the
year.
best part about Tag is that it was based on a true story, but with Ed Helms and Jeremy Renner and
Schmidt. No, Schmidt, not Schmidt.
No. Miller. Jake Johnson.
I love Jake Johnson.
And Del Rey. Like, there's a little. Is it Lil Del? Like, what the hell's his name? Lil Ray?
I don't know.
He was in Get Out. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, but I don't know his real name.
I forget his name.
I don't know a lot of... Like, I have to see you in a lot of things before I'm like, that's your name. Like...
Yeah. And he is up and coming. But that was a really, really fun one.
Uncle Drew.
What you didn't like was Uncle Drew. You didn't like that one.
I was so bored.
I liked it, man. Like, seeing... It was kind of like seeing Bad Grandpa with basketball players.
I mean, there were parts of it that were entertaining, and I'm not saying the actors did a bad job or anything, but the story itself for me was not that interesting. Also, super unrealistic.
Of course it is. That's to be expected.
They were old.
Okay, so Spy Who Dumped Me was an okay chick movie. We didn't really talk Christopher Robin, but your overall was just, it was okay. It was. We got an Eeyore stuffed animal because of it.
I'm getting a little tired of the live action remakes.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting a little over
And this next year we have Aladdin, Dumbo, and Lion King.
Don't speak to me about Aladdin and Lion King. I'm not happy with either one of those at all. First of all, no one will ever be a better Lion King than any of the original.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
I love JTT. Don't joke.
Okay, a really good movie, Alpha.
Alpha was fantastic.
Yeah, with Cody Smith McPhee.
It was gorgeous. The movie itself was just gorgeous, and
there was like
how do you know that name?
He played Nightcrawler.
Oh, that was just the guy in the movie. I don't know his name.
Yeah, but Alpha, there's no speech in it because it's based in BC, like way before there was English.
There wasn't any English?
They spoke, but it was all subtitled.
But most of it wasn't subtitled because he was with a wolf, so I didn't have to read too much.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about Holmes and Watson, Robert. Oh, we're going to talk about that in the next one.
Right. No, I ran out of room down here, so I had to kind of push over the list. To All the Boys I Loved Before, we talked about...
watch that movie. It was great.
And that was Alpha was the last movie we saw with Movie Pass before we switched over to AMC, and we saw Searching.
Searching was the first. Searching was fantastic.
Yeah, because it was all of it was shot from technology, from phones, from laptop webcams.
The end, though.
Yeah.
I really did think she was dead.
Yeah. That's a shocker to me how they did that. Operation Finale, I know you thought was kind of boring, but
it wasn't boring.
It was about getting.
I liked it. I never said it was boring.
Getting the Nazi from Argentina, right?
Yeah, I mean it was interesting. It was definitely the most interesting true story we saw this year.
Yeah, agreed. A Simple Favor.
I liked that movie a lot, but I definitely knew she had a twin way before they were like, she has a twin. Like,
yeah, I know. No, Brittany has this propensity to always get the punchline or like always know the twist before anyone else does.
They very rarely.
Pisses me off.
They very rarely.
Because she'll like start smiling out of nowhere, and I'll be like, "Why are you smiling?" And like 20 minutes later, it'll be like, "It was the cook," and Brittany's just like, "Mm-hmm." Dang it. White Boy Rick was a fun movie.
It was fun.
Set in the 80s.
I feel like it dragged towards the end. I got bored at the last like half hour or so. But other than that, I liked it a lot. It was really sad though. It was a very sad story.
And the star, it was actually his first acting gig. We just found this out today.
Yesterday.
Yesterday?
Last night.
Last night. Okay, I thought it was after midnight.
It might have been.
But it was his first acting gig, and they just kind of pulled him out of school. And
he was just like,
for a first-time actor with this is his first job ever. He did a freaking great job.
He didn't even know who Matthew McConaughey was.
For real. Like, it's shocking to me. We didn't really talk Bohemian Rhapsody. I am a huge Queen fan, so Bohemian Rhapsody, even though they fudged a lot of the facts and the timelines and stuff, the music was spot on and the acting was great.
There was interesting parts, and I thought the main guy, whatever his name is, I thought he did a really good job. It was fun enough, but it wouldn't have been something I would went and seen on my own.
Yeah. We glossed over the Grinch. I prefer the Jim Carrey version, but I think you prefer this animated version.
I did. I liked it. I like animated. I think the Grinch is sweeter. Like, Jim Carrey is kind of raunchy, and I liked the sweeter version.
You know, I cannot believe we've skipped it this long.
Fantastic Beasts?
And Where to Find Them. No, it was Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald.
A lot of people hated on this one, too, and I loved it. But I love Newt. Like,
she has a huge crush on,
I don't know.
Newt Scamander.
I don't know if it's so much. It's definitely Newt more than Eddie Redmayne. Like, I think Eddie Redmayne is handsome, obviously, but like the character Newt Scamander for me is just like, he's a magic zoologist.
No. Yeah, a little bit of backstory. We both love Harry Potter, but Brittany's also a biologist. She got a degree in biology. She's an aspiring zookeeper trying to get jobs. So if anybody out there is wanting a zookeeper,
I have a resume.
Hit us up. We have resumes and references. But yeah, with our history with Harry Potter loving it so much, and this one being animal centric, this is good. Also, the freaking stinger at the end.
I don't know.
Like, setting it up for the next sequel. Like, wow.
I don't know what I feel about that part. There were issues. I had some small issues with it, but overall, like, I just liked it. I liked it quite a bit, and it was kind of sad. Also, we saw a lot of sad movies this year.
Okay, and I think
we missed that horror movie.
No, we already talked about Possession of Hannah Grace.
Oh.
Yeah, in episode 1.
Did we?
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood is the last one on our list. Now, granted, before we talk about Robin Hood, Ralph Breaks the Internet. The princesses were fun and it was a good movie, but
it was okay.
It was okay. It was fun.
I really liked the one character,
the spam bot.
The spam bot guy.
Okay,
he was great.
Okay, Robin Hood. Everyone hated it. Nobody liked it except Brittany.
I loved it. I am also a big Taron Egerton fan.
Egerton, I thought.
Egerton.
Okay.
Whatever his name is.
Now that you've seen him as Robin Hood, you can also see him as Elton John.
He doesn't
as a Rocket Man.
He's not as attractive, but I'm gonna go see the movie anyway. I also have Eddie the Eagle in the DVR that I want to watch because he's in it.
God. Okay. So I know this podcast has been extremely bipolar, just running all over the place trying to figure out what we want to talk about. But there were so many movies. We wanted to touch on every one of them.
I like Robin Hood.
I know
you should watch it.
Well, now it's just a renter. It doesn't help anybody now.
It still helps their box office.
But overall, I think the year of movies was...
It was satisfactory.
It was solid, but it wasn't outstanding.
Like, there were a few outstanding films, but overall, a lot of films were just kind of okay.
Right. It's like there's several high points, but then it evens out quite nicely. So overall, I would give this year about a 3.5 to 4 popcorn buckets.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Yeah, the highs are now best and worst movies this year.
Some of my favorite movies, I loved Crazy Rich Asians and The Meg, which came out around the same time. I really loved... I liked Infinity Wars a lot, but I have to make it a little lower because it made me cry so much. And then... I mean, Jurassic World was up there, but not the top. And then I really liked Summer of '84 quite a bit.
Yeah. And what about the worst movie this year?
Sorry to Bother You, I thought was very bad.
Okay.
Maybe Uncle Drew, too.
Yeah. For me, my favorites, I'm a big superhero fan, so, like, obviously... We didn't talk about Night School?
No.
Alright. Rewind.
Okay.
Night School with Tiffany Haddish and Kevin Hart.
I love both of them, but this movie was given away entirely in the trailers, and so it wasn't even worth seeing to me, in my opinion.
Well, that's how I felt about Holmes and Watson, which I'm calling it now, even though we're talking about it in the next podcast. I think Holmes and Watson was the worst movie this year.
No, it wasn't.
I saw it. You slept through it.
Because that's not fair. I worked an overnight the night before and was running on 2 hours of sleep. That's not fair. If I could have slept through Vice, I would have. That was the worst movie for me this year. If I'm being real, that movie...
It was worse than Sorry to Bother You.
Yeah. Because at least I like parts of Sorry to Bother You. There was not a single part of Vice where I was like, oh, this is enjoyable. The movie was garbage.
Well, I really just hated Holmes and Watson. But
you hated it more than Sherlock Gnomes?
Robert
did
it more than Sherlock Gnomes.
Robert did not like any of the Sherlock movies this year.
I am biased against the Sherlocks. But yeah, best movies of the year. I really enjoyed Black Panther. I really enjoyed Quiet Place, and Incredibles 2 was really fun, and Bohemian Rhapsody and A Star Is Born. Those were definitely in my top. And but this next upcoming episode, like I said, we're going to talk about Black Mirror Bandersnatch and Bird Box, both of which you can watch on Netflix. So if you listen to this and you want to tune in next time and you haven't seen them, you can see them, and that way you can actually follow along with what we're talking about.
Also, if there's a Netflix or Hulu movies that you would like to recommend for us for future podcasts, we want to include them. We want to include a Netflix movie or Hulu in future podcasts so that people can watch along.
Yeah, for the Po folk.
Yeah.
However, we do ask that you make them relatively new releases. Like, you can't be like, oh, you know what you should see? True Grit. That's a great movie. It's on Netflix.
No, I'm talking Netflix originals.
All right, but there's Netflix originals that have been out since, like,
I know, but I mean,
September.
I want them to recommend original films.
Right.
Not Christmas Prince, which came out last Christmas, which we haven't seen, and I want to, but not review it.
Ain't doing it. Nope. In addition to the Netflix movies, we're going to be doing Bumblebee, Holmes and Watson, Vice, and Welcome to Marwen, so please stay tuned next time. As we're wrapping up, one question for you, Britt. In 2018, we've seen a lot of trailers. We've seen a lot of things that are going to be coming out. What are you most excited for in 2018? Or 2019?
I know this is kind of weird, but
weird.
I'm super pumped for the Artemis Fowl film. I've been waiting a very long time to see it. It's very weird, but...
You've been waiting so long, you're not a kid anymore.
I've been waiting so long, I've read the books twice, and not that close together, and I'm very excited. They've been talking about this movie for so long, and it looks cool. I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited for How to Train Your Dragon 3. I've mentioned it several times, obviously. And I'm really excited to see Bucky come back in Endgame. Yeah, he's definitely going to come back. Don't tell me otherwise. And Gamora better be back, too. And if they don't have all the Chris's by the end of the film, I'm gonna be super sad.
Well, by the end of the film, probably not.
What? Don't say things like that. And
we're losing at least one Chris. I'm calling it now. One Chris is gone.
And it better be Chris Pine. If Tom Holland isn't back, I'm gonna riot. Well, Tom Holland
he has a sequel coming out to his movie.
He's a beautiful boy.
Beautiful, beautiful boy, man.
What? And there's, I feel like there was a couple others.
No, Us. I'm really excited about.
Us.
The one we just saw the trailer for with that black family.
Oh,
directed by Jordan Peele.
It
looks terrifying.
Cool.
Marvel movies in general, I'm really excited about. I'm excited for...
Shazam looks kind of fun.
Shazam looks okay.
I hope it's better than Aquaman. I didn't like Aquaman.
Yeah, well, I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah, well.
I think Shazam's going to be a little bit kind of goofier. I'm excited for Pet Sematary, which you've seen 100 trailers for.
No, we have not seen 100 trailers. We have seen one trailer 100 times.
Let's see, 2018, Dark Phoenix is coming out. I'm excited for. I'm excited for a lot of the superhero type stuff.
What other Disney film? Is there an animated Disney film coming out next year?
Yeah, Lion King.
No, that's not true.
It might as well be animated because there's no live action people.
No, but it doesn't look good.
But I actually have a list somewhere, but I don't feel like looking it up. But in the upcoming episodes for January, we're going to be seeing Glass, which I'm freaking excited for. I'm absolutely excited for Glass.
Is Frozen 2 really coming out? I don't think so. I would have heard about it.
Probably not. Well, I mean, I've seen posters for it. But Toy Story 4 is coming out. And I'm trying to think of them all. Escape Room's coming out this next week.
That looks fun.
And like I said, I'm super excited for Glass. And there's so much on the ticket, and I have it lined up episode by episode of what I'm going to be providing. But overall, if it's anywhere as good
Robert's
as 2018...
excited about Godzilla.
Oh, Godzilla looks so fucking good.
The Lego movie looks fun.
Spider-Man looks good. Lego movie looks good.
Oh, It Chapter 2's coming out.
Yes.
I haven't seen a trailer for it yet, but...
Right. But if 2019... is as good as 2018, I'll be satisfied.
What about Pikachu? Detective Pikachu.
And Men in Black looks really good.
How about Sonic the Hedgehog, Robert?
Oh my god. Okay, I like the Sonic I like the Sonic games well enough, and even the cartoons, but Sonic the movie, just from the posters, looks like garbage. Such garbage. I'm calling it now. 2% on Rotten Tomatoes.
What's that movie with, she plays Jane the Virgin.
Oh, Miss Bala.
That looks good.
Yeah, that just comes out in
couple weeks.
February 1st, I think.
That looks good.
Yeah. So, a big movie year coming up and a lot happening, but I just wanted to mention to everyone that I appreciate all the feedback that we got on the poll, and Holmes and Watson won by a single vote.
I'm happy with that.
And I wish that Mortal Engines had won.
That movie didn't look good.
I know, and it didn't look good, and neither did Holmes and Watson. But if I'd known what a train wreck garbage movie Holmes and Watson would have been,
yeah,
I almost would have rather taken my chances, because at least it's different.
I'm really excited about Happy Death Day to You.
Happy Death Day to You.
That looks funny.
Because we saw the first one. That was really fun.
I really liked it. It was a good film.
Mm-hmm. But we really appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope everyone has an amazing 2019. And going forward, just keep your ticket stubs and keep refilling your popcorn buckets, because we're going to be here for you throughout the year, or at least until we get bored with it.
Follow us on all forms of social media. Instagram and Twitter are the most upkept.
Yeah, Facebook is ignored for the most part, but you can follow us there too if you want. But I handle the Twitter feed for Real Romance UCPN on Twitter.
And I handle the Instagram.
Right, so just stay in touch and let us know via Twitter or Instagram about any suggestions you have on on Hulu or Netflix original movies.
Or other movies coming out.
Now, granted, most of the movies that we do go see are not indie. They're all mass released
because
films.
we live in a small ass town.
Right, and AMC is essentially what we have to work with. So, yeah.
By the way, A-List is phenomenal. Since we switched, we have enjoyed A-List very much.
And this is not a paid sponsorship. This is not anything.
We pay for it every month.
Right. And even though we might possibly could get a press thing and get it on our own.
That would be sweet.
It would be nice.
If you're listening, AMC.
It would be nice.
Hell, if y'all could just float us a free refill for our popcorn bucket and a couple free drinks, them things is expensive.
I know. But we genuinely do support what we love, and if it is worth our time, then we will absolutely talk it up, and AMC A-List is worth your time.
We have had no issues with it. Once we got it started, it has worked great. And we get to see what we want. We very rarely go to more than 3. Well, we never do now. But we didn't go to more than 3 movies a week anyway. So, really, it works well for us.
Right, especially in a big town, because if the movie tickets are $12.50 a piece, your A-List pays for itself if you go see 2 movies in a month. Easily.
We're going to easily save, and even in our cheap theater, we're easily going to save $200 next year.
Yeah, definitely. So, just keep that in mind. Join us for the movies, and much love going around. I hope your New Year's resolutions are kept and fulfilled, that you're healthy and happy, and...
I don't.
You listen... Wow.
If I can't be fit, then you can't be fit.
I'm going to lose 100 pounds this year.
Are we getting divorced?
No.
That's 130.
No, you just chop me down the middle.
Can I just chop the top half off?
Why, you want to keep the bottom half for yourself?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
No, the bottom half's more likely to run out on you.
The bottom half smells. The bottom half smells worse, so maybe I'll keep the top half.
Ugh. Keep the torso. It's where all the good stuff is.
I like your shoulders. I'll just chop the head off.
Yeah, just chop my head and my legs off, and I'll just be kind of a legless, armless, headless thing rolling in the wind like a turd.
That was a pretty lame line. That was not that funny.
Oh, because I said it was funny. In the movie, it wasn't funny at all.
Didn't we see... Oh, no, that was 13 Ghosts, where there's the torso, the ghost.
Yeah, you love 13 Ghosts. Okay, hey, we are rambling way too much. I think it's time for bed, and we've been recording for almost an hour.
Yeah, let's cut this off.
Okay, so much love to all of my Real Romance listeners out there, and coming up here in just a few days will be episode 2. So keep your ears and eyes open for that.
I wanted to watch that Hulu movie. We gotta go so we can watch more movies.
I know, right? It's a gift and a curse. All right. Much love to everybody, and we will catch you next time for episode 2 of Real Romance.